The night sky is calm, the moon shining brightly over the Earth, until something strange happens. A dark shadow creeps across the lunar surface. People stare in confusion, scientists scramble in panic. TV screens flash a terrifying headline: "The moon is falling." What if the impossible became reality? If the moon were to collide with Earth, would it be a slow-motion catastrophe or instant annihilation? How would humanity react? Is there any way to survive? Tonight, we explore the unimaginable. What if the moon collided with Earth? For billions of years, the moon has been Earth's silent companion, controlling the tides, stabilizing our planet's rotation, and lighting up the night sky. Life on Earth has evolved under its watchful presence. But what if, one day, that balance was shattered? Imagine a future where something disrupts the moon's orbit, perhaps a rogue asteroid impact, an unknown cosmic force, or even a human-made catastrophe. At first, the changes would be subtle, almost unnoticeable. But soon, scientists would detect an undeniable truth: the moon is on a collision course with Earth. Panic spreads. Governments rush for solutions. Some believe it's just fear-mongering, while others prepare for the worst. But the question remains: what happens when the moon finally crashes into our planet? This isn't just science fiction. Today, we dive deep into the terrifying reality of this scenario and whether anything could survive. The initial signs: at first, no one notices anything unusual. The moon follows its familiar path, rising and setting as it always has. But deep within observatories and space agencies, scientists begin to notice tiny irregularities, fluctuations in the moon's orbit that shouldn't be there. At first, they dismiss them as errors, but the numbers don't lie. The moon's trajectory is changing, and it's moving closer to Earth. News slowly trickles into the media, but most people ignore it. It's just another space theory, they say. But as weeks go by, the effects become impossible to deny. The tides become stronger, pulling ocean waves higher than ever before. Coastal cities experience record-breaking floods. Entire neighborhoods disappear underwater. In some places, the ocean seems to breathe, rushing in and out unpredictably. Meteorologists struggle to explain the sudden climate shifts, as hurricanes and storms grow fiercer. Then, something even more disturbing happens. Gravity starts to change. People feel slightly lighter or heavier at times. Buildings creak under strange pressures. Animals begin acting erratically. Birds refuse to fly. Dogs howl at the sky, and whales beach themselves in mass confusion. Panic spreads. Governments scramble for answers. NASA, ESA, and other space agencies hold emergency meetings, desperately trying to calculate just how much time Earth has before impact. And then, the undeniable confirmation comes. The moon will collide with Earth. Suddenly, the world is thrown into chaos. Scientists estimate that we have only months, maybe even weeks, before impact. There is no stopping it. There is no escape. Humanity must prepare for the inevitable. But as people brace for impact, something even more terrifying happens. The moon is already starting to break apart. Let me know if you want to add anything. Should I move on to chaos before collision? Furo, you said. Next in script, ko short nahi karna. ChatGap said, chaos before collision. The world is no longer the same. The realization that the moon is on a collision course with Earth spreads like wildfire. Governments hold urgent meetings. Scientists appear on every news channel, and social media is flooded with apocalyptic theories. Some believe the moon will simply break apart, while others think Earth will be completely obliterated. But one thing is certain: life, as we know it, is about to change forever. Tides turn deadly as the moon moves closer. Its gravitational pull on Earth intensifies. Tides reach unimaginable heights. Cities like New York, London, and Tokyo experience massive floods that wash away entire neighborhoods. Tsunamis, larger than anything recorded in history, wipe out coastlines. Millions are forced to evacuate. But where can they go? The ocean is creeping further inland every day. The Earth's crust, under immense stress from the shifting gravitational forces, begins to crack. Earthquakes erupt across the planet. Entire regions collapse into the sea, and volcanic eruptions turn the sky dark with ash. Humanity is thrown into panic, with survival becoming the only priority. The sky is falling as the moon edges closer. Pieces of it begin to break off. Chunks of lunar rock, some the size of mountains, rain down upon Earth. Cities are reduced to rubble in an instant. The world watches in horror as live broadcasts capture the destruction. One moment, a bustling city. The next, a burning wasteland. Scientists try to predict where the largest pieces will land, but with the moon's orbit destabilizing, everything is unpredictable. Meteors strike with the force of nuclear bombs, igniting massive wildfires that engulf entire continents. Smoke and dust fill the sky, plunging the world into darkness. The human reaction: some people flee underground bunkers, hoping to survive whatever comes next. Governments launch emergency space missions, desperate to send a fraction of humanity to Mars or beyond. Religious movements spread, with many believing this is the end of the world. Meanwhile, others try to continue living normally. Parties, music, and celebrations fill the streets, as people accept their fate. But deep down, everyone knows, the real impact hasn't even happened yet. The moon is still falling. The worst is yet to come. The impact moment: the world holds its breath. Scientists, world leaders, and everyday people all watch the sky, knowing that the final moment is near. The moon, once a distant guardian in the night, now looms impossibly large in the sky. It no longer appears as a small glowing orb. It dominates the heavens, its craters visible to the naked eye, its jagged surface casting terrifying shadows across the earth. Panic has turned into an eerie silence. There is no more escape. There is nowhere left to run. The final hours as the moon inches closer, the sky transforms into a surreal nightmare. Friction with Earth's atmosphere ignites its outer layers. A glowing ring of fire forms around it, and a deafening roar fills the air. The night sky is no longer dark, it is ablaze with the blinding light of impending doom. The planet itself starts reacting. Gravity fluctuates wildly. People struggle to walk. Cars are lifted slightly off the ground before slamming back down. The oceans, already in chaos, surge violently, creating megatsunamis thousands of feet high. The ground trembles with relentless earthquakes. Skyscrapers sway like trees in a storm before finally collapsing. Then comes the moment of final impact. The collision, the end, and the beginning. The moon strikes Earth at an unfathomable speed, about 9,000 kilometers per hour. The point of impact is somewhere in the Pacific Ocean, but it doesn't really matter. The force of the collision is beyond comprehension. Upon impact, an explosion larger than any nuclear blast in history rips through the planet. The moon itself shatters into a billion fiery fragments, scattering across the sky like burning stars. The energy released is equivalent to millions of atomic bombs detonating at once. A shockwave erupts from ground zero, traveling faster than the speed of sound. Within seconds, entire continents are flattened. Buildings, mountains, forests, everything is swept away as if it were made of paper. A blinding firestorm engulfs the planet, turning the atmosphere into a furnace. The very crust of the earth cracks open. Molten lava surges from within, spreading like veins of fire across the surface. The earth itself trembles, struggling to hold itself together. A new moon, or no earth at all? For a brief moment, the world is split into two possibilities. 1. The moon's impact vaporizes Earth. If the force of the collision is strong enough, Earth could be completely destroyed. The explosion could be so powerful that it breaks the planet apart, scattering debris into space. What remains would be a new asteroid belt orbiting the sun, a silent reminder of the planet that once existed. 2. A new Earth is born. If Earth survives the impact, the remains of the moon could form a new ring system around the planet, much like Saturn's. The collision would leave the world unrecognizable, a burning wasteland covered in molten rock, surrounded by a permanent cloud of dust and fire. It would take millions of years before Earth could cool down enough to sustain life again. But for humanity, it wouldn't matter. No one would survive this event. The last moments of humanity as the world is consumed in fire and destruction. What would people do in their final moments? Some would pray, others would hold their loved ones, and some would simply watch in awe. The moon, which had inspired poets, dreamers, and scientists for centuries, would now be the thing that ends it all. The final seconds arrive. The earth shudders, cracks, and then darkness. Nothing remains. But was this truly the end? Or just the beginning of something new? The aftermath. The collision is over. The earth once teeming with life, civilizations, and history has been reduced to an unrecognizable wasteland. The planet is no longer blue. Instead, it glows with the molten fury of a world that has been ripped apart and set ablaze. A dead world. The atmosphere is thick with fire and ash. Smoke and dust block out the sun, plunging the planet into endless darkness. The impact has triggered a global firestorm, consuming anything that might have remained. Temperatures have soared to extremes, turning the planet's surface into a fiery inferno. The Earth's crust has fractured beyond repair. Massive fissures stretch for thousands of miles, oozing lava into what was once the oceans. The seas themselves have been vaporized, leaving behind dry, cracked basins of salt and rock. Even the deepest trenches of the ocean floor are exposed, revealing ancient mysteries only to be buried again under layers of molten debris. The shockwave from the impact has traveled around the planet multiple times, ensuring that no place was left untouched. The ground, once solid and stable, is now a chaotic mess of shifting rock, collapsing mountains, and endless earthquakes. The skies of Doomsday is unbreathable. Toxic gases, ash, and radioactive debris have replaced oxygen, making survival impossible. Even if someone had miraculously lived through the initial impact, they would now face a slow and suffocating end. Above the planet, the sky looks nothing like before. The moon no longer exists in its former shape. Instead, massive chunks of its remains orbit the Earth in a fiery ring of destruction. Some pieces will rain down for centuries, bombarding the already lifeless surface. Earth now has rings, but at the cost of everything that once lived here. No more humanity. Every trace of human existence is gone. Cities, monuments, history, art, science, everything has been wiped from existence in a single moment. There is no one left to tell the story, no one to look at the stars and wonder, no one to dream of exploring space. The world, once so full of life, is now just another dead rock in the endless void of the universe. But was this truly the end of Earth? Or could something emerge from the ashes? Scientific analysis. While this scenario sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, could it actually happen? What would it take for the moon to collide with Earth? And what does real science say about such an event? Could the moon really fall to Earth? The moon is held in place by Earth's gravity and its own orbital velocity. It's constantly falling toward Earth, but because of its speed, it keeps missing. This is what keeps it in orbit. For the moon to crash into Earth, something massive would have to disrupt this balance. Some possible scenarios include a giant asteroid or rogue planet colliding with the moon and altering its trajectory, a powerful gravitational disturbance from a passing star or black hole, hypothetical advanced technology capable of moving celestial bodies. However, none of these are likely in the foreseeable future. The moon is actually moving away from Earth at about 3.8 centimeters per year. So instead of falling toward us, it's slowly drifting farther into space. What would really happen in an impact? If the moon did somehow collide with Earth, the real destruction would depend on how fast it was moving. A slow impact could result in a moon-Earth merger, creating a larger planet with a molten surface. But at high speeds like those seen in asteroid impacts, the collision would likely completely destroy both Earth and the moon. The moon's mass is about 1/80th of Earth's, so instead of shattering Earth, the collision would probably liquefy the entire surface, turning it into an uninhabitable wasteland. In the end, while this event is scientifically possible, it's highly unlikely. Earth and the moon are stable at least for the next few billion years. But if it ever did happen, humanity wouldn't stand a chance. The thought of the moon colliding with Earth is both terrifying and fascinating. It forces us to confront the fragility of our existence and reminds us how much we depend on the delicate balance of celestial mechanics. The moon has been our silent companion for billions of years, shaping our world in ways we often take for granted. But if it were to turn from protector to destroyer, the results would be catastrophic. The importance of the moon. It's easy to forget how much the moon influences life on Earth. Its gravitational pull stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, preventing wild climate swings. It controls the tides, which are essential for marine ecosystems. Even human sleep cycles and animal migrations are subtly influenced by the moon's presence. If the moon were to disappear, whether by collision or some other means, Earth would become a very different place. The planet's wobble would increase dramatically, leading to unpredictable seasons and chaotic weather patterns. The oceans would become calmer without tides, which might seem like a good thing, but it would devastate marine life that relies on tidal cycles. Life as we know it would struggle to survive. The bigger picture, cosmic dangers. While the moon colliding with Earth is highly unlikely, the universe is full of real dangers that could threaten our planet. Asteroids, supervolcanic eruptions, gamma-ray bursts, and even rogue planets could wipe out humanity in an instant. For instance, the Chicxulub asteroid impact 66 million years ago wiped out the dinosaurs. It was only about 10 kilometers wide, yet it caused massive wildfires, blocked out the sun for years, and triggered global climate change. Now, imagine something thousands of times larger like the moon crashing into Earth. There would be no survival, no second chances. This is why scientists continue to study space and develop early warning systems for potential cosmic threats. Space agencies like NASA and ESA track near-Earth objects that could pose a risk, and future missions may involve deflecting asteroids before they can hit our planet. While we can't control the cosmos, we can at least prepare for some of its dangers. A final thought in the end. This scenario is a reminder of how small we are in the vastness of the universe. We live on a tiny planet, orbiting a small star, in an infinite cosmic ocean. The forces of the universe are far beyond our control, and yet, here we are thinking, dreaming, and trying to understand it all. The moon will not collide with Earth anytime soon, but that doesn't mean we are safe forever. The universe is unpredictable, and one day, something will come for us. The question is, will we be ready? Till then, we continue to look up at the moon, with fear, but with wonder. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, it really helps us out. Share it with friends who'd love to learn something new, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.